Thanks for stopping by today. My name is Troy, I'm bold, and I collect watches. Because you're here, I know you collect watches too, and I think you're going to really like today's watch. So, for the eagle eyed viewers out there, you would have seen the paid promotion tag at the beginning. I haven't had my palms greased with a wad of cash, but in fact, I was given this watch for a review, and I do not need to return it. Of course, as always, I'm going to be transparent in this review like I am in all my reviews, and I'm going to tell you what I rate and what I hate. But straight off the bat, there are quite a few things I really do rate about this watch. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Draco London is a fashion brand started right here in the UK. I call them a fashion brand because they also do credit card wallets and men's jewellery, more specifically bangles and bracelets. But with the brand offering their very first timepiece, I can see that they're really wanting to penetrate the watch market, and with this stylish chrono, it's gonna set the bar for future releases. The Awakening comes in three varieties. We have a sandblast, we have steel, and we have the gunmetal version that I have here for review. If you're interested in the Awakening, you'll need to stump up £249.99. I think it's a fair price compared to what's out there. For example, the Gekota Ensign, which retails for £299, or the Waldor & Co Chrono 39, that retails for £269, and then we've got the Yema Rallygraph, that retails at €339, which roughly works out at about £290, all beautiful Seiko Mecha Quartz chronographs in their own rights, and three that I'd be more than happy with to have in my collection. With its presentation box, it does feel like you're getting, excuse the pun, affordable luxury. I think I've just been sick in my mouth, but this isn't a Vincero or a Daniel Wellington. This is a well constructed watch from an ambitious micro brand. But let's look at the dimensions. The case is made of surgical grade 316L stainless steel. It's PVD coated in gunmetal grey. Because it's gunmetal grey, it's closer to black, but not as aggressive in colour as an all black watch. Because of this, it still looks fantastic and it reflects all the light. The sides of the case benefit from having horizontal brushing and high polished chamfered lugs. But for me, these faux screws are really unnecessary and it interferes with the case design. These chrono pushers are spongy to press, and you'll also see that they're angled and they're highly polished. The way they've been angled works really well with the case shape and it helps the case to retain its curves. Because this is a chronograph watch, you would expect a tachymeter, but on this occasion it's not very legible, so for functionality it really doesn't stand up to the job. I think that the tachymeter struggles with two things. It struggles because of the colour of this casing and the size of the measurement readings. But it is in keeping to the style of the watch and it really does fit the design, so it's not all bad. I love the screw down case back. It's a real individual touch to put an extract of the Draco range of short stories. If you haven't a clue what I'm talking about, head on over to the Draco website. There you'll find their inspiration behind the brand name. And the Draco name is from a series of short stories about a fictional godlike character called Draco. The movement inside the Draco Awakening is the Seiko VK63, a solid choice for a chronograph, and we're starting to see an abundance of watches with this movement. Because of the makeup of the movement being a hybrid mechanical quartz, there will be some detractors of this choice. For me, I'm absolutely fine with this movement. I personally see it as an upgrade to a standard chronograph movement. If this is the first time you've come across this type of movement, you'll see its mechanical part will cause the smooth sweep of the chrono hand. That's because all the chronograph functions work with a mechanical movement and the rest of the watch functions rely on quartz technology. The battery life for this watch is a respectable 3 years, obviously longer if you're not so reliant on all those chronograph functions. Bravo to the creator Daniel for including a sapphire crystal on the first release of a Draco watch. The Awakening comes with a piece of flat sapphire crystal which is applied with up to 9 layers of anti-reflective coating. This really helps with the legibility to pick up this smoky dial. Any reflection would have detracted from the transparency of this dial, so it's a smart choice not to scrimp on such a small feature. Talking of this dial, this really is the star of the show. The feather to the Draco bow, I may add. This is what they call the transforme dial. This smoky dark, semi-translucent dial is in fact painted by hand. No easy feat, I imagine, so without doubt, something the creators must be very proud of. Keeping this trend would be a huge advantage to them moving forward, especially in the overcrowded sub £300 mecha quartz market. The dial is compact because of that large chapter ring which doubles as a telemeter. Everything reads that little bit smaller with this watch. I like it instead of having a massive 45mm plus chrono on my wrist. We have applied indices with a double stick indice at the 12-hour mark. Where we have our subdials at the 3, 6 and 9 mark, you'll see just a tiny amount of the hour marker. This is intricately done and done very well, I must add. The faceted indices have no lume applied, which is not such a bad thing as they're so small. I don't think we could have seen any substantial lume applied to them anyway. I'm not a fan of the date placement between the 4 and the 5, not just on this watch, but on any watch. But I cannot be too critical because the date window has to sit here and it works, especially having it beautifully framed. If we look at the 3 o'clock dial, we have our 24-hour markers, the 6 o'clock dial is our ticking seconds, and the 9 o'clock dial has the minute marker for our chrono timing function. What I really like is this dragon logo, the official logo of Draco London. It sits proudly at the 12 o'clock. What I think is a smart decision is not putting the brand name and just going with the inclusion of the logo. Some of you might not like the satanic, demonic version of this dragon's head. It certainly has that look to it and I could completely get the dislike. For me, I think it's edgy and it goes really well with this young brand. Could we see it on a future dress watch release? Maybe not, but for the Awakening, I think it's a perfect fit. You'll see the chrono hand has been finished in orange. This adds a splash of colour to what is quite a dark coloured watch. Everything here is black or grey, so it's a welcome addition for sure. The rest of the hands are polished steel, and they have blue BGW9 lume applied to them all. So it's time to take a lume shot. How does it measure up? Let's take a look. So how does this strap wear? Really nice actually. It's comfortable, and that's probably down to the fact that the underside of the strap has been made of this suede-like leather. It's honestly just so soft. On the upper side of the strap, it's finished in nylon. The look matches the watch amazingly well. Finished with black stitching adds that overall dress stealth look that this watch is going for. It comes with 2 keepers and a PVD coated deployant clasp. The buckle is also signed with the Draco name. The included strap has quick release pins, so I don't really see the point of those screws to the side of these lugs. And if someone were to change their strap, they might get confused and possibly damage the watch. Hopefully any future Awakening owners watch this video, and if you do, use the quick release pins. Whilst this is a beautiful strap, I do have my concerns that after less than half a year, there does seem to be some fraying to the adjustment holes. Slightly worrying, consider this hasn't been my daily wearer. Of course you can change the strap, but it's a shame as overall this is a good offering for a stock strap. And my final thoughts, it's time to let you know what I rate and what I hate. Well, I touched upon the strap holes fraying, that's slightly disappointing. Also the legibility of the tachometer. I get that you have to include it, but maybe using a white font might make it more legible. But I'm on the fence with that decision because it might have spoiled the look of this watch, and no doubt when this watch was being designed, it might have been something that was already discussed. I'm not a fan of the screws on the lugs, totally unnecessary, and it gives this stylish sports dress watch a more industrial look. But enough of my moaning, what do I rate? Well, first off, its originality. A brave choice to make your first watch a non homage. The Awakening stands on its own 2 feet, with the attention of detail to the case back and the inclusion of sapphire crystal. They have nailed the watch from bottom to top and also in between because we get that stunning transforme dial that really is head and shoulders above anything I've seen in this price range. The presentation also has to be mentioned. What a stunning presentation box. Fantastic if you were to gift this to someone. It really feels luxurious and it's finished in this gorgeous piano black. And it's a great outing for a first attempt. Lose that affordable luxury feel to your marketing and you got yourselves a home run. And that's all from me today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you to Draco for offering this one up for review, and thank you to each and every one of you fantastic viewers. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to see my future videos. And remember, I'm an enthusiast and not an expert, and I'll see you all very soon.